Journalism students from the University of Canberra recently had the chance to work in top newsrooms in the United Arab Emirates and Qatar. The international study tour was part of the Australia-Middle East Journalism Exchange, which aims to improve cross-cultural understanding by giving students an insight into other cultures, media, and work practices.
So the tour was a 2-week intensive trip where we visited the UAE and Qatar and spent a week in each country, and it was about immersing ourselves in the media culture there and learning about how the media is different in the Middle East to the way it is in Australia. And the other part of the trip was doing our own journalism and trying to source our own stories while we were there.
The 4 students immersed themselves in the Middle Eastern media and culture, with visits to news organisations, cultural institutions, universities and government departments.
So while we were over there, we went to a variety of different newsrooms. We went to CNN Dubai, CNN Abu Dhabi, we went to the National, we went to the Peninsula, but the biggest and the most important thing I think was when we went to Al Jazeera in Qatar, and that was lots of fun. We got to help work on one of their news programs, and we got to see how the newsroom works in general, and I think it's really good information to have, and it'll help me later on in life.
Every newsroom visit that we went to, the journalists were incredibly open. They were very keen to answer our questions and to help dispel any myths we may have held about practicing journalism there.
The students said the trip was an eye-opening experience, as they were able to see the differences between Australian and Middle Eastern journalism firsthand.
It was very interesting in terms of looking at Western media over there and also looking at Arabic media. It gave us a real feel of the issues that are going on over there, seeing what was in their news bulletins and that sort of thing. But yeah, it also just gave us a really general sort of practical experience of how a newsroom runs, and comparing that to Australian media is really interesting.
While on the tour, the students helped produce stories for an episode of Al Jazeera's Inside Story and an assessment in one of their final journalism units' journalism project.
The best thing was probably just growing as a journalist or as a student journalist, being thrown in the deep end and kind of being forced to find our own sources for our stories and to kind of put ourselves out there and meet some pretty important people.
They also met with students from the University of Qatar, who visited Australia in June as part of the exchange to experience Australian journalism. The students also encouraged others who were considering on going on a faculty-led tour to take the opportunity during their studies.
If you really want to experience the real Middle Eastern culture in Dubai and in Doha, I think you should absolutely go on this trip.
It's challenging, it's confronting, visiting the region, there are certainly tricky parts about it. The pros far outweigh the cons. You know, you come out a better student, a better person, and the friendships you make and the connections you make is really great. So I would 100% recommend anybody who's even thinking about it to absolutely go for it. Yeah.
The Australia-Middle East Journalism Exchange is a not-for-profit organisation supported by the Australian Government and is a faculty-led study tour available through the university's Faculty of Arts and Design. Vanessa Lamb, University of Canberra.